So this weekend I entered a SmogonVGC tournament, bringing with me the team I brought to Athens, Georgia for 2015 Regionals. And I just wanted to show it off here because I didn't get a chance to record any of the Athens videos. They don't let you save the battle videos, so it's kind of inconvenient to record on the spot. So I entered this Smogon tournament. I think it's tournament number 21 for them. And they do this every week on Saturdays usually. And my first opponent is Smogon user OhThirtyFour. I am actually going to fall victim to this competitive boost right off the bat, but I am going to fake out the Milotic just so I can get this Dark Pulse off, or the Dark Void off, rather, and try to put these two Pokemon to sleep right at the beginning of the game. Unfortunately, I do miss Milotic, and Clefable is going to fall asleep, but I will get the Evasion boost from Moody, which is actually really helpful for me. I really like getting the evasion boost because it really throws a wild card in for my opponent. My opponent doesn't know if they need to attack Smogon or if they need to attack my other Pokemon. I am going to miss the second time with Dark Void on Milotic, but in turn Milotic actually misses me with Scald, so I guess we're even. I go for close combat on Milotic and get it down to a very low amount of health. But because of Citrus Berry, I'm not going to be able to finish off next turn with Mach Punch. His Clefable is going to wake up and hit Hitmontop with a powerful Moonblast. That is going to be an OHKO, unfortunately, thanks to the close combat lowering my special defense. And this second turn, I'm not going to get anything major from this Moody. I'm going to lose defense, which doesn't really matter. I'm going to send in Cradily here, hoping that I can absorb a Scald. But Milotic actually switches out, fearing the Giga Drain, and he sends in Excadrill instead. Smogon goes for Dark Void again, but both of them avoid the attack. But in turn, Smogon actually avoids another attack thanks to the evasion boost. Now I'm just going to throw an Ancient Power at Excadrill, expecting him to be sashed, and it's not going to do much. The next turn, Clefable goes for Protect, and I actually Protect with Cradily as well, assuming that he's going to go for Iron Head on Cradily and try for the one-shot, but he actually goes for Earthquake instead, and that's just going to do some reasonable damage to Smogon. I guess it doesn't really matter, given that Smogon's sashed, and I'm going to be able to get up the Trick Room. So, big play for me. This Smogon is actually going to be faster than the Excadrill now, and especially after the speed drop, I'm going to be even faster under Trick Room. And so I'm going to try to use Earth Power on this Excadrill, but Clefable sees through it and uses Follow Me, and so that's just going to divert my attention so I can't hit Excadrill. Clefable actually avoids the Dark Void once again, and I do hit Excadrill though, so that's pretty major for me. Excadrill is the Pokemon that I really needed to hit with that, so nothing hurt there. I decided to switch out Smogon, which is kind of a risky play, but at the same time I was still expecting Excadrill to go for the Iron Head on Cradily. I think Cradily is more of a problem for him than the Smogon was at that point, and if he can get this OHKO off, I think that would be really helpful for him. He does continue to use Follow Me though, and my Earth Power isn't going to be able to connect with Excadrill. But since we're still under Trick Room, my Camerupt is going to be the fastest Pokemon on the field. And so I'm going to Mega Evolve turn 1 and just go for the Heat Wave, try to OHKO the Excadrill, and get some damage on that Clefable. And so I'm just going to go for the Heat Wave here. Going to do very minimal damage to Milotic, although it does do enough to get the 2-hit KO here afterward. Clefable does use Follow Me again, which isn't really a big deal, given that I'm just going to hit with area damage attacks. I do try for the Ancient Power on Milotic, but I'm going to have to settle for Clefable instead. Just trying to get the boost while I finish a Pokemon off. A lot of times I do that with Cradily. When I know I can finish off a Pokemon, I'll use Ancient Power, just in case I get that boost in all of my stats. And so I'm just going to use Heat Wave again. It will finish off Milotic, and the Ancient Power will go to Clefable, who protects itself. So my opponent sends in Rotom Heat, which was an interesting decision. I thought Excadrill might come back out, but he does go for Thunderbolt, which does really minimal damage, but he gets the paralysis hacks. So that kind of stinks for Cradily. Cradily will be the fastest Pokemon on the field under Trick Room now. And I'm just going to use Ancient Power. I'm going to double up on Rotom Heat, which is going to do a ton of damage to it. Not quite kill it though. He does get Leftovers recovery. And realizing that this Rotom really can't do much to me, I decided to double target Clefable on this turn, knowing that it also can't protect. And so he's going to put me into Citrus range with that Overheat. Still doesn't do very much to me because Cradily is fully invested in special defense. He goes for Moonblast on Camera Up though, which is actually a good play because that's going to put me into killing range from his Excadrill Earthquake, I think. I don't know that Excadrill one-hits Camera Up. I don't think he does with Earthquake. But Crady's actually too paralyzed to move. And he's going to get the switch into Excadrill here. And really my goal is to take out that Excadrill. I'm going to double up with Earth Power from both of my Pokemon, just in case he does wake up and gets the KO on Camera Up. I definitely want to hit it with an Earth Power. If he does wake up here though, he pretty much wins the game because he gets the Earthquake off on Camera Up and kills it, and then the next turn he's free to Iron Head the Cradily, and my only Pokemon left is Smogon, and as long as he goes for anything but Earthquake, I can't really kill it with Spiky Shield. And so he's just going to have to forfeit there. Good game played by 34, and stay tuned for the next game.